Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast. You are joined once again by your peppy hosts. We just had a conversation about this.
I told him he needs to smile whenever he's doing his intro.
Can you hear me smiling?
Yes. So that's Nabil. He's so peppy today.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm Ashley Gardner, and welcome back.
Welcome back. And we are joined by a special guest. All our guests are special.
Yeah, they're all special.
I'm extra special.
Okay, an extra special guest.
Yes.
Take it whichever way you want.
Isabel. Isabel, actually, what's your last name?
It's Orozco-Moore. So I hyphenated when I got married.
Okay.
So
Isabel Orozco-Moore?
Yep.
Cool. So Isabel is with Isabel Eats.
That's right. She's with herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so we're going to dive all into that. Really excited to have you on. So thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
So you want to do our Eat of the Week?
Let's do it.
I'll go first.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I'm pretty excited about my Eat of the Week.
Tribute.
Yeah, last night, actually, I went to Frida Southwest in Paseo.
Ooh, I've been wanting to go there.
Oh my God. It was so good. It was so good. I went with my friend Jessica. We were both celebrating our birthdays. Both of our birthdays have passed, so we were kind of doing it up. And
It's birthday month.
Huh?
It's birthday month.
Yeah, I mean, my birthday month already passed too. But
Birthday year.
birthday couple months.
Birthday year every year.
That's right.
So we were in celebration mode with cocktails and lots of food. We started off with their queso, which is they use like these Southwest cheeses, and so it's not like a liquidy queso. It's like stringy cheese queso with these pickled peppers. So good. I would definitely recommend starting off with that.
I love stringy queso.
Yeah, me too. And then I had the Frida salad, which was also delicious. It's like mixed greens, pineapple, cucumber, coconut pepitas, which is delicious. It had like a mango vinaigrette and these cute, colorful, edible flowers on top. Very good. And then for my entree, it's actually listed on the menu as an appetizer, but I felt like whenever I read it, it would be big enough, and it's like one seafood tamale with jumbo shrimp, scallops, I think it's like one big scallop, crab, and lobster. So delicious. Like,
That sounds like a fantastic meal.
oh my gosh, I could have had a lot of those tamales.
That's awesome.
And then we had several cocktails, but my favorite was the Purple Rain cocktail that had bourbon, lemon, and a blueberry lavender syrup.
Ooh, blueberry lavender.
Yeah, it was really, really pretty and
So I have not had a cocktail that has lavender in it.
yeah.
What does that taste like? Is that too florally?
No, I like lavender and stuff. 'Cause we also had like the coffee with the lavender
Had a cold
vanilla
brew
bean.
nitro coffee with the lavender and vanilla bean syrup.
Yeah.
So for me, it
from
just depends
Rome
on
Coffee
how
Company.
much. Shout out to Rome. It just depends on how much lavender is in there, right? Because yeah, you're right. Lavender can get really floral really
Right.
fast.
I also
Yeah.
had a honey once. I got it from Fort Collins, Colorado. It was a honey or a lavender infused honey, or not infused. I think it's the honey is made from like the lavender fields, you
Oh.
know, that the bees are getting their nectar from.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it has a pretty great flavor of lavender in the
I didn't
honey,
even think about the fact that honey would taste different
depending on what
depending
flowers.
on where the bees were.
Yeah,
Interesting.
absolutely.
It's kind of gross. No, I'm just kidding. Like,
Okay, we went there.
because, right? Like honey is it like bee poop? What is, or
Nah, I don't.
It's
It's not bee poop.
I don't know
They-
what byproduct it is, but
they get the nectar and then they make the honey.
okay.
how do they make the honey?
I've never researched it. My dad, though, used to have honeybees, and his honey. So he lives in Newcastle, and his honey actually had like a sweetened condensed milk flavor to it.
Interesting.
It was incredible, and it's just whatever flowers were in that area, like it gave his honey that flavor. So I think honey from all over, and depending on what flowers they're getting their nectar from, changes the honey flavor. Are you Googling right now how honey is made?
I am, and I was trying to get it in time by the time we finish the story, but
It's gonna
I feel like
longer.
someone's
Not
going to be
find it.
really offended
I
by
know.
No.
Yeah.
beep poop.
I don't think it is bee poop.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Keep researching while. So yeah, that was my eat of the week. Frida Southwest in Paseo. They're like very new. They just opened, and everything was tremendous. Really, really good. So check them out.
That's awesome.
So Isabel, what was your eat of the week while Nabil continues his research on
Very important research.
this honey?
We don't know what honey is.
So I finally got to go to Oso a few days ago.
Oh, so also in Paseo.
Yes.
Nice.
And it was awesome. So I wasn't sure what to expect. So like my blog is Mexican food. My parents are Mexican. I grew up in a Mexican, household eating Mexican food.
Right.
So my husband says I'm a snob when it comes to Mexican food. I don't think I am.
But you're probably used to like the authentic stuff.
Right. And I wasn't, which is why I was like, I'm not sure what to expect. It's like super pretty on the inside. So does that mean the food's not going to be as good?
Right.
So I had 2 tacos. I had the carne asada, which
Okay.
is just like steak.
Okay.
And
What
then
else? Was there anything else on it?
I'm sure there was. I can't
Okay.
remember.
So I've had a few of their tacos, but I don't remember.
It was just good.
It was just good.
All right. So it's the steak taco.
The steak, and I had the nopales, which is like cactus leaves.
Ooh.
And that was like in there. They have a lot of vegetarian options, and I chose that one just because nopales is like pretty common in Mexican food.
Okay.
So I kind of knew what that should taste like.
Right.
And both of the tacos were amazing. The tortillas were really good. The actual fillings of everything was really good. And then they had 4 like salsas on the table.
Yes.
And all of the salsas are really good.
I really like
I
their
love it when
salsas.
people have multiple salsas on the
I do
table.
too.
Yes. You got to try every one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I have been there a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it. I've had a few of their tacos. They're what are those pinwheel looking things called that they give you as like an appetizer?
Oh, I don't know if they call them this or not, but churros. Are they? Is that what they
No,
call
it's
them?
not the churros. And I can't do the tongue.
You can't roll your R's?
I can do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but I can't roll my R's in a word. Churro.
She just does it as a noise.
There you go. Hey, you did it.
I want to, now I'm researching, I want to know what those things are called. They're so good. They're like, I don't know, once you have one, you just eat the whole entire bowl.
Kind of like Pringles.
Yes.
Once you pop, you just can't stop. Yeah.
One
I
other
always say
thing-
it whenever someone says.
One other thing that I had was their like Mexican corn.
Yes.
And it had, the reason I got it was because it had like Takis, like
crushed
crushed
Takis.
Takis
Yep.
on top.
really?
Instead of like normal chili powder or
Yeah.
whatever else they put on it, they used Takis. And I was like,
Takis
I'm
are
here
awesome.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of that, I made that at home once.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I totally did.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Okay, what are these things called?
So while Ashley does her research, I have found the answer to ours.
Okay.
So, and again, this is online, so this could be a website that's wrong, right? This is from Honeybee Sweet.
Okay.
So sounds pretty legit, right?
Right.
Sure. It has honey in the name. Sure.
And so the question was, is honey bee poop or is it vomit?
Oh,
And
either are gross.
right, yeah. Well, because honeys take it into their bodies and then put it back out.
Regurgitated.
But so honey is closer to vomit than it is poop because honey is stored in a honey stomach, and I'm doing air quotes right now, which is part of the esophagus. And then when they get back to the hive, they regurgitate that nectar from the honey stomach back to the hive. So it
Okay.
is just nectar that's stored in the stomach or the honey stomach. So there you go.
All right.
All right.
That's how bees transport nectar.
Yeah.
Answered.
That's good to know.
Yeah. All right. I didn't find my answer yet. Oh, wait. Is that it? No. All right. The switch continues.
Also, their refried beans are so good. Did you have that as a side?
I did not. I had their black beans.
Okay. So their refried beans are really good. It had I don't know exactly what was in it, so I was trying to figure out the flavor. But it had a cinnamony, almost maybe some cloves in there. It was really, really good.
It's a little deeper flavor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. So what was your eat of the week, Nabel?
My eat of the week was not in the Paseo district. In fact, not in Oklahoma because I was traveling for a conference. So it's from Kansas City. I know. And in Kansas City, I had a couple of things that were good. So one was barbecue, Kansas City barbecue. Mm-hmm. And I know Oklahoma barbecue is fantastic, but Kansas City barbecue was pretty good too. We went to Jack Stack's, and I got the burnt end sandwich. And
Ooh,
it was a
burnt
spicy,
ends are awesome.
Spicy burnt end sandwich. You don't like burnt ends?
So, funny enough, when I went to Oso, the people I was with, we randomly were talking about burnt ends, and I've never had burnt ends.
Really?
Burnt ends are so good.
They're the best.
So they're literally just the burnt ends of...
Yeah, so it's crispy.
They're essentially the throwaways of all the other cuts.
It's good.
But they're so good. They're so good. They're so good. So burnt end, I had a spicy burnt end sandwich. It was really, really good. And then the other thing that caught me off guard, we went to, it was one of those necessity lunches, and we went. It was connected to our hotel. It was
necessity lunch, like you
we
were really hungry.
We were really hungry. We just flew in. That's essentially it. We were really hungry. We flew in that morning. We had an hour before the conference started. We're like, we gotta get food. What's close? Let's go. So it wasn't one of those you plan, I'm gonna go eat here. It was like, I'm gonna find what's closest and go eat there.
Okay.
And it was a place called Unforked, and I had their tacos, and it was a citrus crunch chicken taco. And I'm probably going to say this word wrong, but it was a honey citrus guajillo glazed tempura. Guajillo. See, I knew it was a Y.
Guajillo. It's a type of chili.
Okay. Right. So it was a honey and citrus guajillo tempura chicken with poblanos and cilantro and queso fresco. And it was delicious.
That sounds good.
A lot of times chicken for me gets overcooked really fast.
Yeah.
But this one was spot on. It was really, really good.
That sounds good.
So if you ever go to Unforked out of a necessity lunch, you will not be disappointed.
and where was this again?
This was in Kansas City at the West End that's connected to like a little mall type of area. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. I wish I had something to eat right now. I'm really hungry.
Well, you
this
do.
Around dinner time.
You have some delicious
let's
sweet...
actually talk about these. Isabel brought us a nice little treat to go with our wine. Tell us about these cute little pigs.
So they are a pan dulce, which is just like a Mexican sweetbread that you can find in like pretty much every Mexican bakery because these are pretty popular. So it's a gingerbread like type of cookie / bread. Mm-hmm. And they're called marranitos. Sometimes they're called cochinitos or puerquitos. And they're in the shape of a pig.
And so they're like soft, gingery, not too sweet. So good.
They're really, really good.
A cute pig.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Take notes, future guests.
Yeah. bring us treats. Yeah. So,
I mean, what better way to come to a food podcast than with food?
Yeah. Everybody's always like, oh, I should have brought y'all some. We're like,
yeah, you should have. Yeah. Well, Chef Andrew, Chef Black, did bring us some stuff.
Yes, he did bring us some chocolates from La Baguette. Yes. That was very nice. Yeah.
So shout out.
Yeah.
Good job, Chef Andrew.
There you go.
All right, so let's dive into Isabel Eats.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You ready?
Sure.
So how did your passion for food begin? Kind of tell us your story.
So I grew up in a Mexican family. Both of my parents were born in Mexico. I always say this, but some people may have heard this before. So my husband says that my family is like the Mexican Brady Bunch because my parents had 6 children.
Okay.
3 of them were born in Mexico, 3 were born here, and 3 are girls, 3 are boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Interesting fact in case you wanted to know.
Yeah. The Mexican Brady Bunch.
Yeah. But so both of my parents, I grew up with both of them cooking. So I'd come home from school, there'd always just be like beans or like chile verde or just whatever, homemade tortillas all the time. So I was just kind of always around food. But I honestly didn't really get into food and cooking for myself until I went to college.
Okay.
And then I don't want to like bring down the conversation, so I'm going to keep this quick, but it kind of came from a very unhealthy place. So when I was in undergrad, I developed an eating disorder.
Okay.
And so I was like becoming really obsessive about food and what I was eating and like what I was putting in my mouth, you know, counting calories, all of that. And so all of that kind of, when you're in that headspace, you want to know exactly what you're eating.
Right.
You want to cook for yourself because you don't trust anyone else.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So so that's kind of how it all started. Fast forward to like I was in grad school. I had seen a therapist. I got help from all of that.
That's
so
fantastic.
Yeah. Long and windy road.
Right.
But after all of that, like seeing a therapist really helped me see food in a whole different way. And then it just kind of became like a fun thing that I would do with my husband, then boyfriend.
Right.
Just like we would buy cookbooks and we'd cook things out of them together at night, like after he came home from work, or we would Google a recipe and like make it together. So
Nice.
it just became like a fun thing.
Right.
And
It's always nice cooking with somebody. I personally love
Yeah.
cooking with someone and like sharing the duties in the kitchen, you know. It makes it more fun and enjoyable. Are you laughing
like-
at duties?
Yeah.
oh my
Jeez.
god.
No. I was just,
Splitting up
no,
the tasks.
No, it wasn't.
Jeez Louise.
It was the concept. It was like, yes, I like having someone in the kitchen as well to be like, here, you do this, so I don't have to do everything.
No, I mean, it's just nice to
Yeah.
have a cooking
It
partner.
is.
I love that.
Yeah, Serena and I cook a lot together, and like it's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It is.
And it's hard to find recipes for like one person.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah. No one has recipes for one person.
No.
They're like, serves 4. We're like, it's 1.
Yeah.
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 And you can't like cut those in half. They just don't work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's how I kind of really started to get into cooking. It started in a bad place, but it has grown and
And turned into like your full-time thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we're going to dive into that.
Right. So this is all you do. You are a food blogger.
Yep. It
Right?
is my
Is
full-time
that how
job.
you categorize yourself?
Yeah.
A food blogger?
Yeah. Yep.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
I've been doing it for full-time 2 years. But I started the blog back in 2015.
Okay.
So,
If you don't mind sharing with us, like, what was that process like? You started obviously out of fun and as a hobby and a little side gig, and then it transitioned into a full-time job. I know a lot of foodies that are listening out there
Right, they're
are
like,
probably like, how do you do this?
How do you make this full-time?
yeah. So the internet is an amazing place. You can literally learn anything just by Googling.
Right?
Yeah. Which we did.
Right?
Yes.
Honey.
Exactly. So I just started researching and started, because I was following food blogs at the time, and I was like, these people are doing this as their job. How do I do that?
Yeah.
So then I just start researching. There's a website called Food Blogger Pro that is literally about food blogging, and if you want to make it into like a job, how to do that, how to land like sponsorships with brands or companies, how to like make your website pretty for Google so they'll search your content and put you in
Right.
Google.
Like put like high SEO rankings.
all the
We're both
SEO.
making mental notes.
Oh yeah. I try not to say SEO because people are like, "What's that?" You know.
Yeah, search engine optimization.
That's
yeah.
right. And it's very important.
It is.
It is, yeah. So yeah, I just started like learning as much as I could, and then just looking at food blogs. The one thing that I like put two and two together and was like, the one thing all these food blogs have in common is they have really pretty photos.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be amazing photos, but they're nice. Like you look at them,
photos.
yeah. You look at them and you want to eat it.
Yeah.
So I've never taken I didn't know anything about photography, and I bought a camera on Thanksgiving or on Black Friday.
Okay, nice.
Bought a camera on Black Friday, and just like try to learn as much as I could. YouTube videos, Food Blogger Pro has like stuff about photography.
They covered like the whole gamut.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Food Blogger,
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I learned a lot from them. But yeah, you still have to put in the work and actually practice.
Absolutely.
And get better.
Yeah.
So I just went all into the photography, and I started getting partnerships with brands. And in the beginning, that brought in like a little money. So maybe it was like $200 for a post where I would make a recipe, take a photo of that recipe using their product, and just like post it.
Okay.
And maybe it was like $200 here and there. So it was at least like enough to cover the hosting of the website and all of that. And then I just got more and more traffic. You know, as you post every month, the one big thing, you need to be consistent. Like, you have to post like on a schedule. Because that's the only way for you to get so much content out there that people actually notice. So
do you stick to your schedule?
Pretty much.
How often are you posting?
So now I'm posting twice a week. So I do like 2 new recipes a week.
Dang.
Yeah.
Do you ever, gosh, I bet we're going to jump into this, but run out of things to cook, like the recipes to create?
Like, how do you keep it going?
I just have a long list.
Okay.
So whenever you get an idea, you're just adding it to that list, and you're just systematically going down that list?
Yep. Basically. And also this year was the first time I sat down for 2 days and I wrote down like pretty much all of my recipe ideas for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow.
So it took me 2 days because it's like you're brainstorming, you're making sure like you're researching SEO to see if people actually want to see this recipe. Like, are people Googling this recipe, or am I just going to make this and no one's going to ever find it?
Right.
Smart. I didn't even think about that when coming up with the recipe. Is like, what are people searching for?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's like the number one thing you look for in SEO is like, what do people want and how can I get it to them?
Yeah. So
does that mean if you're creating 2 new recipes a week, that you're cooking those 2 recipes every week, taking photos of them, and then blogging about it?
Yep.
And probably cooking multiple times so you can tweak them.
Yes.
So you outlined 100 potential recipes in a matter of 2 days.
Yeah.
That's
well, that's a lot.
But a full 2 days. Like, it took a long time.
But that's still like, I mean, 2 days.
But, and you have, I mean, for those 100 recipes, you haven't written all 100 yet.
No, they're literally just like the name, or maybe I have an idea of what it could be.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't like done any of the work further to see if it.
Which, I mean, something like that, doing that is a full-time job.
Yeah. And the reason I did that is because I hadn't done that in the past, and it would be like next week, and I'm like, oh man, what am I going to make this week?
Right.
So like having all those ideas there, I can just pick and choose what I'm feeling like making.
That's a good idea.
A lot less pressure.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Gosh, your husband's very lucky.
He always says that he's like, everyone says I'm lucky, but I never eat a warm meal because I cook it and photograph it during the day. It's like, for you.
He gets home from work and it's like, nook it in the microwave.
Seriously. Yeah.
That's really funny. So that kind of answers the question about the blog. So anybody can go to your blog and look up recipes.
Yeah.
And kind of get inspired for stuff that they can make.
Yeah.
So you're all about doing easy recipes with a Mexican twist.
Yeah.
So what's the hardest thing you've ever had to put a twist on?
All right, so I use the term Mexican twist or like Mexican inspired very loosely, very loosely, because sure there are some lots of like authentic Mexican things that I make, but sometimes like I don't always cook that way, and I want to be able to also bring in like my real life, what I'm actually cooking,
Right.
into the blog. So usually the things that are hard to like put a Mexican twist on are the desserts.
Oh yeah.
Because there are like authentic Mexican desserts, but say like, so I made a pumpkin bread, and it's like, okay, how are you going to make that Mexican?
Put some chili powder in it.
Pumpkin bread? I don't know. So what I did was...
She was like, nope.
I think it would be good. It gives you the sweet and spicy.
Yeah, we could try to do that.
I think I'm onto something.
So what I did was just like...
That wasn't it.
What? And see, I don't even know if this would be considered Mexican, but I put in a lot of cinnamon because there's lots of cinnamon in Mexican desserts.
Okay.
And I topped it with pepitas, which are just pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
But like pepitas are what they're called in Spanish.
Right.
So
That's just the Spanish name for everything. That's funny.
another like thing for dessert, anytime I do anything chocolate, I usually put a chili powder or something spicy because spicy and spicy chocolate
Goes well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This past, what was it? Thanksgiving or Christmas? I think it was Christmas. My mom, sister, and I did what we quote air quotes we did an authentic Mexican dinner. And so I made homemade flautas for the first time, tamales, and
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of tamales?
I did pulled pork.
Okay.
I did it in the crock pot. What was that called? It's carne asada. Is that right?
Carnitas?
Carnitas.
Maybe that's
Pulled
it.
pork,
Maybe
yeah.
we
Was
talked
it
about
like
that.
in a green or a red chili
Red.
sauce? Okay, yeah. That's like what my parents make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, they're both. I've had both, but like my parents are always like they make the red.
Yeah.
The red.
But I did make a Mexican dessert that it kind of looks like stained glass. It's like a Jell-O dessert, and it has like the different colored Jell-O squares in it. And
Yeah.
Another white Jell-O.
Yep.
Holding it all together. It was really pretty.
Yeah.
Really cool.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is really pretty.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I posted it on OKC Foodcast. So
Probably.
take a look.
Probably. Go search through the posts.
So yeah, it was really cool. And I also bought a tamale press. Or not
Okay.
tamale press, a tortilla press.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you bought one of those.
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get it here locally or did you order it?
No, I went to this Mexican grocery store off 23rd Street.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called, but they were very helpful. I also bought a tamale pot there. They didn't understand what I was asking for, and so then I was like pulling up pictures.
And it worked.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, come over here."
That's awesome.
So yeah, and then I was like trying to figure out what kind of masa to get, and I was looking at the pictures on the front, and I'm like, this looks good. And this woman beside me was like, "For tamales, you want this one." And I was
Nice.
like, all right, nice.
There you go.
Everybody's helping me, so yeah,
That's awesome.
It was fun.
It's all about the food.
Yeah,
It's all about
Food
the
brings
food.
people together.
it
Yes.
does.
Yes.
It absolutely does.
Which is why recipes aren't meant for one person.
right?
I'm sure there's a food blog out there that's like one person meals. I know there's
Cooking alone.
no.
Lonesome in the kitchen.
That sounds so sad.
I'm brainstorming names. That's a catchy name,
Yeah.
right? Cooking alone.
You should see if that domain name is available. I know
I would
there's.
be horrible at it because I have this bad habit of overcooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like anyone who's eaten with me will be like, "Why'd you cook so much? How many people were you expecting?"
Oh, like making
just
too
you."
much food.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like there's a book out there called Reservations for One, and it's like something about eating alone.
Yeah.
I haven't read it.
eating alone and like especially eating out alone has like a negative connotation to it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I don't either.
Like, just if you want to go somewhere and eat, and you obviously everyone's schedules don't always match.
Yeah.
Go eat. Like, enjoy the food. That's why they have the bar tops, right?
Exactly.
They have the smaller tables. Like, they will.
And bartenders love talking to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you'll make some new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the weekend I was running errands and I was starving, and I stopped at Volcano Sushi and sat at the bar and had a roll and a salad, and then went back to running errands.
Yeah. There you go.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice
I
little
don't have
snack
an
in the way.
issue eating by myself, but I've done a lot of traveling for work that I'm by myself that
You used to it now?
yeah, I had to rip that Band-Aid off a long time ago. Otherwise I just wasn't gonna eat.
Yeah.
Who can I find somewhere to go eat with you?
Right. No, traveling by yourself for work, like you eat out alone
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So
So I want to go back to recipe development,
yeah.
because that is something that I don't do. Right?
Okay.
It's not like I am notorious for not following a recipe. Like, I cannot, which is why I don't bake, because baking is very, like, you have to be a lot more scientific with baking than you have to be with cooking.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I've struggled with, because I'm like, I'm a free spirit. I want to do whatever I
Free
want.
spirit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna measure this with my heart.
Right? Right?
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Why don't you follow a recipe?
It's not that I don't want to. I just feel like so if I'm cooking something new, I will look at the recipe and I'll be like, okay, what do they do to make this? Because
Yeah.
obviously I don't know how to make this. But once I'm like, okay, I understand how to make this, I feel like I can do this
You do it on your own.
through my taste and through whatever flavors I want.
Okay.
So that's the reason. It's not like I hate recipes.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they're constraining, right? If I put 2 teaspoons of this, I'm like, I think it needs more. But if I'm following the recipe, it says not to put more.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like a lot of people, and I don't think this is where your head's at with following recipes, but I know people that say they can't cook, they can't follow a recipe, and I feel like it's possibly a touch of I don't know, just paying attention, maybe a little ADD, like you start to read the recipe and then you get
overwhelmed,
sidetracked,
maybe.
overwhelmed, and your attention goes elsewhere.
And so it could be how like the recipe is presented to them, right? Is it easy to follow?
Yeah.
Right.
And obviously that goes into research and putting the recipe together and being like, does this make sense? So like I said, I don't really follow recipes. So I don't know the first thing when it comes to developing a recipe. I will tell you about my experience about developing a recipe after
I can't wait.
after you tell me how do you do it.
So it all starts with an idea, right? So it's hard for me to think back to when like I just had no clue about cooking. But like right now, when I have an idea, I sort of know like how to go about it. If it's something completely like that I've never made, like I don't have a lot of knowledge about seafood. And where my parents grew up in Mexico was like they were also in a landlocked state. So there just wasn't a lot of seafood. So I didn't grow up eating like Mexican seafood.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm learning a lot about seafood. So then if I'm starting with something that I've never made before, I'll like Google it or pull out a cookbook that I have just to see like, okay, how do I like actually make this or bake this, or like what is the cooking technique?
Right. How do you approach this ingredient, right? Yeah.
But like in terms of flavors, I feel like I kind of already know what is Mexican-y, or like
Like cinnamon.
like cinnamon. So like I feel like I know the flavors, and so I'm just tweaking things to try to get those flavors. If that
So when you're tweaking things, so you're having to measure everything out pretty precisely. And then if it's not right or it's not quite there, then you have to add on to your measurements, right? Or make it again.
Yeah. Which is why baking is so hard, because at least cooking, you can make something, and if it's not like a marinated meat or something, you can taste as you go, and then I'll write that down that I made that tweak. Whereas baking, you have to bake the whole thing, and if it's not good, do it again.
Do it again.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Okay, so a little bit, a little bit of trial and error and a lot of note taking.
A lot,
Right?
yes.
Not my
a lot
forte.
of, yeah.
Not my forte.
And then a lot
All right,
of
I'm out.
No, I'm just kidding.
if it's like an authentic thing that I grew up eating that maybe I don't know how to make, I'll just ask my mom.
Right.
Like, Mom, how do you do this? And she doesn't measure things either. So I follow her around and I'm like, what did you just add? How much did you just add? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I just was going to put it in there. And I'm like, no, give it to me. Let me measure it.
Yeah, that's like mom's cooking, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, so Serena, my wife, wanted to learn some things that her mom made, and that's exactly what she did. And her mom would be like, oh, I just put a little bit of this. And she's like, what is a little bit of this?
Yeah.
But she never, like, I don't think she stopped her and measured her. She just kind of like, about this much.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
pinch and a half.
that's funny because that's how moms cook.
Yeah.
And that's how I cook. I cook like a mom.
All right. Well, and if I'm not
like a mom.
doing a recipe for the blog, I cook that way too.
Yeah.
But like,
You have
people
to be
want to
precise.
know measurements.
Yes.
Yeah, no, people need to know measure because like they need to have like an idea of how much do I need to put in this, right?
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if that domain name is taken. Cook like a mom.
That's a good one. I'm sure it's got to be taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone listening to this is taking it. No, I'm just kidding.
What is your experience?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
So I like cooking. I like cooking a lot of things, but one of the things that I am, again, air quotes, famous for amongst friends is she's shaking her head.
The Dr. Pepper reduction sauce.
Yes.
Ooh.
So I make this burger where I marinate the meat, and I make a Dr. Pepper reduction sauce. And then, like the toppings will change from like pickled onions, caramelized onions, whatever, but like all of it done from scratch, except for grinding the meat.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't actually go and get
So
the
I haven't.
cow.
No. So I
don't
I
have
don't
a
get the
meat
cow. I don't
grinder.
butcher the cow. No. And I haven't experimented with the different mixes of meat, which I'm going to. I think that's going to be my next step.
Yeah.
But usually when I'm doing this, I'm like, there's going to be like 20 people. I'm like, night before, make burgers, right? So what had happened was I saw this ad for a burger competition. It was a Budweiser. It was a national burger competition. It's called Bud and Burgers. And I saw that and I was just like, I want to do this. And so obviously, like saying I cook like a mom, had no idea how much of what I put in, but the instruction said you need to give us a recipe of what it takes to make each patty, like what goes on each patty.
Uh-huh.
So essentially I had to say
out.
how much marinade was in each patty and how much sauce was in each patty and what it took to make that sauce. So what I did was I bought new bottles of everything.
Oh yeah.
And and I just made it like I normally would, and then I marked the bottles.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, I think that's 2 ounces, and 2 ounces went into 5 burgers, and so that is
Divided by
0.4.
whatever.
Exactly. And that is how I made my recipe.
Oh
and I'm
my-
sure you don't do that
No.
because my numbers came out to be really, really weird.
No one could ever follow that recipe.
They probably couldn't when they printed it because they printed out the recipe, right? And I'm just like, that looks so foolish. But they wanted it per patty, and I was like, here you go.
That is a weird way to ask for it. Like
Right?
maybe 4 patties, right?
Yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
pound or
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Or
so
maybe
weird.
it was. Maybe I just made that up. But like, I know
And his recipe was still
I know
crazy.
my numbers was still like really weird.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna put 2 ounces of this. It was like 2.5 or
Yeah.
So
That's
it was,
hilarious.
It was interesting.
That is really funny.
That's the only recipe I've ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
We got to get you to write some other ones down.
I've made some
I'll have to do
cocktail
that again.
recipes. So like for Pinot's Palette, I have to write blogs, and literally we basically just write them for SEO purposes.
Yeah.
For real. And since people do like recipes, I'll write cocktail recipes.
That's a good idea.
Because I like making cocktails at home, so I'll put that in there. My measurements are definitely not exact. I'm like, usually you put 2 ounces of
Sure.
vodka. Yeah, so I think that's the only recipes I've ever written
Yeah.
for cocktails.
Recipes are tough, so props to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have another question. Do you know, and we actually didn't have this question written down, but do you have a favorite recipe of yours on your blog?
Probably it's probably the chile verde. So that is like pork that's seared. It's cut into like small pieces. and then it's seared, and then it's covered in this like tomatillo green chili, so you can use jalapenos or poblanos, whatever you want, depending on like how spicy you want it.
I love poblanos. I make a poblano soup.
Ooh, I have one of those too.
Nice. We'll have to trade.
No. But then you like cover it and you cook it for about 2-3 hours, like simmer it.
So it gets the pork really tender.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. And I I have memories of coming home from like middle school, and my dad would already have made some for me when I got home, and I would just get a bowl of it and like tortilla chips and just eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that would also be good with that sauce, like on rice.
Yeah. Serve it over rice so
Yeah.
all the rice can like get that good juice.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Or I like it with flour tortillas so you can get all the juice.
Gosh, that sounds amazing.
You guys are making me hungry.
Yeah. And, you can find Isabel's recipes at isabeleats.com. And I'm just taking a gander. She has like a easy homemade corn tortilla recipe. And I mean, this
Looking at my blog.
all
Yeah.
looks so good.
I mean,
The
her pictures are really
juiciest
good, aren't
chicken
they?
kebabs ever. I want
How'd
some
you put a
juicy-
Mexican twist on those?
I think, so I just like grilled them or I brined the chicken, but I think I put if I remember correctly, it's like a honey lime sauce on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
So
good.
lime
There
juice,
you go.
right?
There you go.
But also
Lime, chili,
Lime juice,
cinnamon,
It's Mexican.
Jalapenos,
cilantro.
avocados.
But big high five to you because you've been featured in Delish, Good Housekeeping, MSN. I mean, the list goes on. The Huffington Post, BuzzFeed. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, question on that.
Yeah.
The first person that approached you to feature you, right? What was that feeling like, and what was that point where someone approached you to be like, "Can we feature you, or we want to do an interview?"
Like what was the point?
Yeah.
Or who was it?
I feel bad. I don't remember who it was the first one. Wait, let me see that list again. I feel like I should know who the first person was.
This was your big break.
I know. Honestly, I think it was just it was probably a BuzzFeed article. So BuzzFeed just picks up a lot of, they make like listicles of like 10 recipes that blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
And if I like went to look at my Google Analytics, and it tells you where the link is coming from, or like where
Right.
the people are coming from.
Yeah.
And I just remember one day getting, maybe it was probably like 50 people from BuzzFeed, and I was like, I'm on BuzzFeed? And I look, and it's my recipe's just there. Like someone put it in a list.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
No, and also, you're a cat mom.
I have 2 cats. I have a ginger cat named Charlie and a black cat named Lucy.
Nice. I'm a cat mom too.
Yay.
I just cook like a mom.
That's okay.
That is okay. So what does the future hold for Isabel Eats?
So I've thought about a cookbook, possibly.
That's a
but
good idea.
yeah, a cookbook would be so much work. Like I don't know if I'm ready for a cookbook
But you
yet.
already
But
have,
you have the
all
content,
the
right?
recipes. You have all the content. Now just put it in a book.
I mean, I could do that, but I feel like people,
Just turn off your website.
but people don't want. People want new recipes.
Oh, yeah.
True. I guess they'd be like, why?
Why am I
like-
paying for this if I
Exactly.
can just go to your
Yeah.
website?
Right.
True story. All right, don't listen to us.
Because obviously we don't do this professionally.
Right.
So
So that's like a like obvious next step that I could take. But honestly, I feel like what I want to do is I would love to have like at least one full-time employee helping me with the website. Like I just want to continue to grow the website.
Yeah.
And I just like want to continue to cook and take photos.
Yeah.
Like how awesome would that be?
yeah.
And having somebody else there, you could do even more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because
That's cool.
I just have you have so many ideas. Like once you get into it, you think that you'll run out of recipe ideas or things you want to post about, but like you go out to eat all the time, and it's like, oh, there's an idea. That's what I can make. I can do that.
Yeah. Now you have the Takis,
Yes!
Mexican rice,
Yeah.
or not rice, corn
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
I mean, that's where the idea for this podcast came up. Was we were at dinner and we are like, we should do something with food, because I was telling her like some ideas that I had, and she was just like, why don't we do a podcast? You already do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
That's awesome.
But I do that too, going to different restaurants, and then I come home and try to recreate my interpretation of what I had out. I do that pretty often. I did that with Ned's watermelon thing,
yeah, the watermelon
the
salad.
Taki
Yeah.
corn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that'd be
the
exciting.
ideas are endless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see. We'll see what the future holds.
So we'll see when
Stay
the
tuned.
ideas
Stay
end.
tuned.
Stay tuned.
Follow Isabel in the meanwhile to know what she'll do.
Yes.
And it's like what? Everywhere at Isabel Eats.
Yep.
Right.
Isabel Eats.
Cool.
Easy enough.
Let's do the kitchen sink.
Let's
kitchen
do it.
sink questions.
I am down.
All right. You want to go first?
Sure. So, if you were asked to showcase one ingredient, what would it be?
Okay, I would have to say masa harina, because you can make so many things with it. So you can make corn tortillas, you can make tamales, you can make gorditas. You can also use it like as a thickener in soup. So
Oh,
it'll
that's
get
a
that
good
like
idea.
masa flavor.
Uh-huh.
So many things with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, and she already named off like a bunch of things she'd make. So
Right.
Yeah.
look at that. Ahead
Done.
of the game.
All right. Random question. What is your favorite snack food?
So this is actually sort of related to what we've been talking about.
Ah.
Hot Cheetos.
Oh, nice.
Hot
I'm a
Cheetos,
hot Cheeto.
Yes. Flaming hot Cheetos?
Isn't that your
love-
favorite? Is that your favorite?
No.
Close.
What is yours?
It's so it alternates. It's either the cheddar jalapeno. I like those a lot. Have you not had
I have.
that?
I've had those.
Or the flaming hot. Like the flaming hot ones are just so satisfying.
They are. So I
satisfying.
recently had, apparently there's an extra flaming hot. And so I like grew up eating hot Cheetos. Like
Yeah.
in middle school, I would get one of those 25-cent bags of hot Cheetos, and they'd put cheese sauce on it in my school cafeteria. And I would eat it with a fork.
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like a
Wow.
walking taco, but like
Yeah.
just cheese sauce and hot Cheetos
In the bag?
in the 25-cent bag.
That's so funny.
Yeah. First of all, they
Wow.
should not be serving that in middle school.
Right.
But they did, and it was good.
And I'm not complaining.
No.
Right?
But I recently tried the extra flaming hot version, and that one reminded me of the old school, the ones that I used to have when I was in middle school. So I feel like they've changed the recipe.
You have to dumb them down, is what you're saying?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now they're bringing it back.
As
Bringing it-
extra flame, as
Okay.
extra
Yeah.
hot.
And it's like the black label. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But they're all good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and they're so crunchy.
They're so
I just
That's
love
the most
Cheetos.
satisfying part. What is your favorite meal to make at home?
So this isn't Mexican, but it's like simple. So
Well, you need a
probably
break.
Right. It's in my blood. I need a break. So this is super simple. Probably just like a flank steak with some sort of side and a vegetable. But like every time my husband and I have made flank steak, it's like amazing. It's just so easy to cook.
Yeah.
So you just sear it on both sides and then you can just finish it in the oven for like 8 minutes, or you can just grill it.
Yeah.
But it's just so good. And maybe it's because we nail it every time.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Pros.
we do.
Pros.
Wow. Pros. The flank steak pros.
And it's not even like seasoned, interestingly. It's literally just salt and pepper.
I have found that whenever I make steaks at home, even on the grill or using the grill pan, the best seasoning has been like just the coarse sea salt
Yep.
and fresh cracked pepper.
And
Yep.
butter, maybe.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll top it with some butter once it's done cooking. And it's simple, but it just lets its own flavors come out.
Yeah.
It's really
I like,
good.
I like basting my steaks
Okay.
with the butter, and then I'll, depending on the mood, I'll throw in garlic or thyme or rosemary or whatever, right? And like baste
Gordon
it with
Ramsay
that.
style.
That's
That is
right.
Gordon style.
That's right. I love Gordon Ramsay.
He does. I love him. I just watched an episode of his new show, like Uncharted or something. Like it's a National Geographic
Oh, I
Okay.
when
haven't
he's
seen
like
that.
going around the world.
Oh,
Okay.
It was really good.
I
He
did
was
not
in
know that
Peru.
existed.
nice.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
have to
either.
look at this.
I think
Yeah.
it just started.
Yeah.
All right. I have to check
Yeah,
that out.
yeah. He's got so many good things.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite food to get to go? Like if you were, not going to cook at home, you want to just pick something up quickly.
So, I really like Panera bread.
Oh yeah, I love Panera bread.
Their
I like
bread.
their bread.
Their bread
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah.
So I say this like, I don't get it often because my husband's not a big fan of it like I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of have to convince him. But I love their bread. I love all of their salads.
All their salads are good.
Amazing. And like, I don't make salads at home because they're never as good as when you get one out.
No, they're not.
No.
they're
Yeah,
not.
no.
I don't know what they do, but
Yeah.
they're not.
I don't eat fast food like pretty much at all, but I will get down with some Panera bread.
Yeah.
Like,
So good.
and I don't really. I mean,
I
it's
wouldn't
fast.
classify Panera
You
bread
can
as
get
fast
it
food,
pretty
right?
quickly,
Yeah.
but some do have drive-throughs.
Really?
Yeah, there's one. I think it's off of Northwest Expressway that has a drive-through, if I'm not mistaken.
A lot of Panera breads have drive-throughs.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So it could be considered fast food, but so good. I feel like they do a really good job. And then for their breakfast sandwiches, like they literally crack the egg,
Yeah.
and it's not just this.
Anything from their
Mixture.
panini press is so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yes.
I like their
Pressed sandwiches are
yeah.
the best.
I think it's like a Reuben sandwich. So good. Their bacon turkey bravo.
All right.
All right, I'm hungry, guys.
All right.
I love Panera.
Panera
Maybe I'll
bread.
pick up some Panera bread
There you
tonight.
go. There's actually one down the street,
All right, perfect.
and they have a drive-through.
Oh man, John's gonna be like, "What'd you bring?" Panera bread.
That's what we talked about most.
That's funny.
So, if you could visit anywhere in the world, and obviously, whenever we travel for food, right? It's like, how many places can I fit into this vacation?
Yeah.
Where would you go?
So I would say Japan.
Yeah,
I love sushi.
I do too.
I just love the simplicity of it, but good sushi, you can definitely taste it. Did you watch the documentary about it's called Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
No.
So
I
it's
have not. I started it and then I fell asleep.
oh no.
It wasn't because of the documentary. It was because it was like 2 a.m.
Oh.
So it just follows this sushi chef who's world renowned, and just him cooking this sushi and how he takes care of the sushi, and it's just
Like
so
respect
simple.
for
Yeah.
the food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love that.
Yeah.
And
I do too.
it's also a totally different culture. I feel like I'd learn so much.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Japan's on my list.
Yeah, it is on mine as well.
Yeah. I would love to have sushi in Japan.
I want to go for ramen in Japan.
Ramen too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Explore the ramen world.
Yeah.
Love ramen.
I have not had enough ramen.
Well, whenever I was living in Houston, there were so many ramen places, and I made it my mission to try all of them. And
Did you?
I feel like I got pretty close. But since I've not lived there, I'm sure 100 more have opened up since. But Oklahoma was kind of slow to the game to get ramen places. So there was Tamashi and Goro. Are there? I know there's some other ones now, because there's another one in Norman, but those were the first two, I believe. So we were kind of late to the game to get good ramen here.
Yeah. But when Oklahoma does something, they do it well.
Yeah, absolutely. And both places are very authentic.
And I'm not just saying it because I live in Oklahoma.
No. I think comparing them to what I had in Houston, it's very delicious.
Yeah.
Really good.
Because the people who want to do it are I really want to do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially
It's-
if you're the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do it right.
Yeah, it's something that you're pioneering in Oklahoma, so
Yeah.
you must have a passion for it.
Yeah.
So,
All right. And last question for you, Isabel. What is your favorite restaurant in Oklahoma City and your favorite thing to order there?
All right. So this is hard because I just moved here in January. So I'm still learning all of the places that I need to go. I have a list of all the restaurants I need to try.
We have similar lists.
Yeah.
Ever growing list. You can never shorten it.
Yeah. But so far, I really, really, really...
That was a lot of reallys.
I really like Empire Slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love pizza.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've been to a few other pizza places. I've gone there multiple times, and all of their pizza is really good. I wrote down my favorite pizza that I've had. So it's their Rocksteady, gorgonzola, bacon, balsamic reduction, red onion. Sounds.
Yeah. I feel like I've had that one. It's everything on that is like my favorite.
Yeah.
I really like their midnight cowboy.
Which one is that? Do you remember?
That
is it just a lot of meat?
It's brisket.
Oh, okay.
And it's got some cheese that I can't remember.
I hope they don't put barbecue sauce with that, do they?
They probably do because it's brisket.
That just seems weird to me.
But it was so good.
Yeah?
It was so good. I can't remember what cheese it was.
It's like barbecue pizza. I don't know. I just have a hard time getting behind that.
You're not into... What about pineapple pizza?
Oh, I can get down with pineapple.
No.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Pineapple on pizza?
Yeah. With like Canadian bacon. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
I like both pineapple and Canadian bacon, and I like the barbecue on pizza, but they're just not my first choices.
Yeah.
Like, I'll eat them and
Something
they're good.
with gorgonzola, red onion, like especially the balsamic reduction.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Balsamic reduction for
that
the
would
win.
be
Yes.
on my top list.
But still no pineapples.
Have you tried is a lot of from what we've heard from people when we talk about like people's their favorite pizza place, a lot of people say Pizzeria Gusto.
So I have not been there.
No.
So
That's
on my
a lot
list.
of people's top list. My favorite's the Wedge.
Okay.
I really love their Napoli pizza.
Okay.
So good. But I now feel like I need to go back to Empire and get that gorgonzola bacon.
So the Midnight Cowboy has mozzarella, cheddar, feta,
Ooh,
Okay,
I love
feta.
feta.
roasted poblano, red onion, and a barbecue sriracha.
Ooh. All right. I mean, I would give that a shot.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's a lot of stuff.
It was a lot of stuff. But it was a lot of different types of cheese, right? And so
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want some right now.
I know. I love pizza.
Should we go to Empire after this?
Oh, maybe we
What
do
day is it?
Well, cool. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us this episode. Thank you so much, Isabel, for coming on. This has been so good. I really want to try out some of your recipes.
Aw, thank you so much for having me.
I won't follow them though.
Don't follow their...
I'm just gonna
Just to
see
get an
kind of what
idea.
you made, and then I'll be like, "This is how I butchered your recipe."
Well, I was going to say, don't leave a comment, because so many people leave comments saying, I tried this recipe and it didn't turn out well, but I substituted this for that and I did that instead of that. And it's
Right.
like, well, you didn't make the recipe.
Right. Don't substitute. Don't leave a review if you did.
Keep it to yourself.
I understand.
Right. Well, you can follow Isabel on Instagram at Isabel Eats, Facebook,
Yep.
Twitter.
Where else?
No. I'm on Twitter, but no.
Yeah.
I think the last time I was on Twitter was probably a year ago.
Yeah, we're not really. I mean, I don't even think
We didn't even make one.
we
We're
didn't
like,
make an account.
We're not gonna take care of that.
No.
It's-
But I'm also like big on Pinterest, because Pinterest is a lot of like food stuff.
That's a great spot for you to be.
yeah.
And then her website again, isabeleats.com.
Yep.
Cool. And you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at OKC Foodcast. And if you'd like to email us some listener feedback, or if you'd like to collaborate, we'd love to hear from you. And you can email us at okcfoodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. And if you haven't done so yet, share this podcast with your favorite food buddy. Because again, like we talked about, food is meant to be shared.
Yeah.
So
enjoyed with friends.
Enjoyed with friends. It's better enjoyed with friends. So share this with your friends. And leave us a rating and a review. We love hearing the good things.
5-star
say.
reviews.
5 stars.
5-star reviews.
5-star reviews.
Yes. Don't leave comments. No, I'm just kidding. Leave all
Good
the
comments.
Leave all the comments you want.
Yep. And thank you again, Isabel. And until next time, friends, eat well and be happy. Bye.